the PS5 Digital Edition or the Xbox Series S. Which one is the right console that is good for you? Find out in today's episode of The Tech State. Both Microsoft and Sony have released the prices of their consoles. The normal PS5 being $500, which is around about £450, and the digital edition, which is around about $400 or around about £360, and the Xbox Series X, which will be $500 or £450, which is around about the same price, exactly the same price as the PS5, and the Xbox Series S being $300, £269, which, I mean, with the digital edition of the PS5 and the Xbox Series S, that's a major price difference, but is paying that extra £100 or $100 worth it. One of the easiest ways to compare the PS5 Digital Edition and the Xbox Series S is to discuss their specs. Price out of the equation, because you don't know if that saving that £100 will be worth it in the long run. Generally speaking, the PS5 Digital Edition is more powerful, but here's the full breakdown. So first up is price. The PS5 Digital Edition is $400, which is around about £369, and the Xbox Series S is $300, which equates to around about £269. The processor, PS5 Digital Edition, is the AMD Ryzen Zen 2 8-core with 3.5 GHz, and on the Xbox Series S, it's the AMD Ryzen Zen 2 again with an 8-core, but 3.6 GHz, so 0.1 GHz difference. It's not going to be that much of a difference really. Now for the GPU, on the PS5 Digital Edition, it's the AMD Radeon RDNA 2 with 10 GHz, and on the Series S is AMD Radeon RDNA 2 again with 4 teraflops. That's a major difference. That's a major difference from 10 teraflops all the way to 4. That's a whole 6 teraflops down. You're definitely going to notice some performance issues coming to that. And with the RAM, the PS5 Digital Edition has got 16 gigabytes. That's a decent amount. It's not too much and it's not too less. But the Xbox Series S has only got 10 gigabytes. So for playing games like Warzone, you may have difficulty comparing to the PS5 Digital Edition, which of course is not good for in the long run, because in the long run, in 2-3 years time, when they might be teasing a different Xbox Series, a mid-generation update, your Series S is going to be lacking, and you're going to have to wait and then spend even more money buying a mid-generation console, rather than if it was the PS5, you would just be like, even though the mid-generation cycle's coming up, you'll still be able to keep it and have no trouble with that. Now the storage for the PS5 Digital Edition, stock, it comes with 825 gigabytes of SSD, while the Xbox Series S has only got 512GB SSD. Now both of those are not going to withstand a year of buying games, but the PS5 Digital Edition will store more. Now the resolution, the PS5 Digital Edition is up to 8K. Like, you realize they're not even much 8K TVs. Even every TV out there is not even 4K yet. So having 8K is massive for 5 years down the line, when there is actually mostly 8K TVs. Your PS5 will be able to do that, no problem. Whereas, while the Xbox Series S is only 2K, 1440p, like in 2-3 years, that will be lacking majorly. You need to think of the long run of these. You're going to be paying £200 to £300 now, and then after a mid-generation cycle update is teased, the trailers came out, and the pre-orders are available for that in 2-3 years time, you're going to have to buy that one. The Xbox Series S is only 2K, it's only 1440p. Like, wow, from 8K to 1440p, you can already tell the Series S is lacking. Now the frame rate is the same on both the PS5 Digital Edition and Xbox Series S, which given the specs is surprising. They're both up to 120 FPS, which I expect that for the PS5 Digital Edition, but I wouldn't really expect that to the Xbox Series S. So if you're gonna buy that, be ready to run into some fan issues, ventilation issues, and gaming issues with the game lagging out. Be ready for that if you go for the Series S. So as you can see, that $100 cheaper or £100 cheaper price tag comes with a price, you know. These specs aren't as good and aren't as up to quality as the PS5 Digital Editions. Yes, you're going to be saving £100, but in the long run, you're going to be experiencing more potentially the breaking down of your Xbox Series S, ventilation errors, GPU areas, everything's gonna come into that, and you're gonna be spending more buying a new one in a year or two's time. Now, talking about the surprise on my face when I saw the Series S will be able to withstand 120 FPS. Yes, it can go up to it, but that doesn't mean it's going to run most of the time at it. As a result, games will run at lower resolutions. The max frame rate is the same. We can reason that the Xbox Series S will generally not hit the same frame rates as its Sony competitor, particularly for newer demanding games. Neither of the system's PlayStation 5 Digital Edition, the name is Digital Edition, and the Xbox Series S has the capacity to play physical media such as game discs or Blu-rays. However, both systems will be able to load and render games incredibly quickly thanks to the new SSDs being incorporated to all 4 of these devices, and both systems' GPUs will support ray tracing for subtle lighting effects. It's not going to change the games entirely, it's just going to add the little bit more realism the game actually needs. So now on to the topic of games. As far as we know, the PS5 Digital Edition will be able to play 100% of the games that are going to be with the normal PS5. The Xbox Series S can play every single Xbox Series X game as well. This should be the case for the foreseeable future, but with the Xbox Series S, it will be able to play every Xbox Series X game except of the Series X enhanced ones, so they will not be able to play them at all. There will be separate Series S enhanced games. As far as we know, the PS5 Digital Edition can play every single PS5 game, and so can the Xbox Series S can play the Xbox Series X games. This should be the case for the foreseeable future. As such, the game selection argument is the same here as for the PS5 versus the Xbox Series X. Do you want to play Spider-Man, Ratchet & Clank and Final Fantasy, or do you want to play Halo, Hellblade and Forza? There's no correct answer there. It's up to preference, really. For me, I would go towards the PS5 because I've never really been a fan of Halo. I've never even played Halo, actually. Hellblade, don't even know what the fuck that is, to be totally honest with you. Forza is probably the only good game on Xbox's side for me. So you guys will basically just have to decide for yourselves, just like I will be doing. Now on to backwards compatibility. That's a little more of an interesting subject. Both the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition and the Xbox Series S will be backwards compatible with many previous gen titles. The only question is how far that actually goes. The PS5 Digital Edition will be compatible with a lot of PS4 games, just like it's the normal PS5, although we don't have a full list yet. Recent reports put the number around 99%. Sony have said 99% of the PS4 library will be available. Hopefully that's actually going to be true and Sony is going to live up to their word. The Xbox Series S, on the other hand, will be able to backwards compatibility with every single Xbox One game. So unlike the PS5, with this just having PS4, not PS1, not PS2, not PS3, the Xbox Series S will be able to play the Xbox Classic, the 360 One games, and the Series S games and X games. So it's literally going to play every single game on the Xbox's title, which of course, if you're looking to play nostalgic games and if you're looking to play old games along with the new games, then maybe go with the Series S if that's your style. The Xbox Series S has one additional weakness. It's a kind of complicated one as well, so just bear with me. In some ways, the Xbox Series S is less powerful than the current generation Xbox One X. Wow, I thought that said the Series X. Wow. In some ways, the Xbox Series S is less powerful than the current generation Xbox One X. So if you're wanting that strength of next generation, that's not going to be there at all. As such, the Xbox Series S will not be able to play Xbox Series X optimized games with full 4K resolution, high frame rates, enhanced texture, quality and so forth. This may be not a big issue to most of you casual gamers, as the Xbox Series S isn't exactly the ideal accessory of 4K TVs anyway, but it's worth pointing out, the PS5 Digital Edition has no such restrictions. One final thing to consider is that both the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition and the Xbox Series S will exist as a part of a larger subscription-based ecosystems, PlayStation Plus for the former and the Xbox Game Pass for the latter. Both services will have undergone significant revamps over the past few months and will probably continue to do so up till the next generation console launch. Recently, we learned that PlayStation Plus, which is £10 a month or £60 a year, will allow players to download a whole host of PS4 classics including Bloodborne, God of War and Until Dawn. Meanwhile, the Xbox Game Pass, which is $10 to $15 per month, lets players download more than 100 Xbox titles including Gears 5, Wasteland 3 and Sunset Overdrive. The big difference between the two platforms is that the Xbox Game Pass also gives players access to new Xbox Series X and S titles the day they become available. The PS Plus collection seems to be exclusively backward looking, for at least now. Generally speaking, the Xbox Game Pass seems to be a huge part of the Xbox Series S's strategy, while Sony probably expects most PS5 Digital Edition customers to buy games one at a time. But it's worth considering whether you'd rather own a small library of games for good or rent a huge library of games indefinitely. So, at the end of the day, it's up to you. I can't be asked. I'm pretty sure that's happened in every single one of my videos. I'm pretty sure. So at the end of the day, it's up to you. Do you want the low performing but cheaper Xbox Series S, or would you want the higher spec, just a little bit more priced PS5 Digital Edition? Well, take all of these points into consideration. For me personally, it would be the PS5 Digital Edition. If I was going to get the Digital Edition, I'm going to get the normal one once my time has come. I don't think I'm going to get it straight away. There's no way I have the money to do that. But in the future, whether it's like a year down the line or something, I am going to buy one, but it'll be the disc edition. My reason is because after games come out in around a month, in the disc, it could go down up to £30. Whereas one Digital Edition, just say if you look at Black Ops 1 now on the Steam page or the PS Plus page, it's still £30 to £40 when you can buy it in a disc for around about tenner, or maybe even £5. So I think in the long run it's going to save you more if you buy your discs, but it's up to you guys. So if you like this video or if you've learned something, please smash the like button and subscribe. Get me 100 subscribers and I'll do something really special. So without further ado, it's your boy Adama from Tech State and I'm out. See.